start off, I want to say that this isn't a capstone. This isn't a capstone project at all. This is rather a collection of experiences, emotions, and interactions. And for me, this is a moment of self-reflection, and it's a way to revisit the past, but explore the future. And in no way is a capstone a concluding achievement. It's more of a continuing achievement. And to me, I feel like I will never have one thing in my life that defines me, but instead have multiple layers that do.
And to me, and I think what the rhythm of beauty is discovered by the artists in the literature as well as passionate artists of the world. And it's just how artists work, it's how artists do their thing, it's how they create things that are beautiful to them. And right is a self-portrait I did. I gave it to my mom for Mother's Day. And on the bottom right is a picture I did for my friend who lives in London. So, and you can turn on the lights now.
Well, I made myself a poster about how I want to interact with the world. And so what I do here is that I use pictures to represent how Stephen, Asher, and Holden interact.
I did the Odyssey portrait, Asher Love, Of Mice and Men, and Death of a Salesman, and then I also put my writing workshop pieces in, and then the themes that I tried to put into the musical were friendship, religion, loneliness, decisions, atonement, and passions. So yeah, start now.
Years old. I was born and raised in Connecticut. I hold dual citizenship with Britain, and my favorite color is orange. These all are small aspects of my life, and they may not seem important, yet they are. They make up me.
He starts going down the path of sex.
Yes.
And it's called I Am My Village. And as you can see, he's a Jewish artist because of the various pictures he displays. And it's also in the book of Asher Lab where Asher mentions that he was one of his favorite painters. Though my parents don't agree with how I submit my artwork, I always try to do my best. And even though I am my own audience, it's nice to see other people smile when I display my artwork. So another quote was, and the quote all the time, I waste a drawing. I've done it to my schoolwork. I act as if I weren't going to school at all. What was the matter with me? Why would I study? Just a watercolor piece. So as you can see, I couldn't do it over again because it would create a hole in the painting. And I used various different shades of color to bring out the shadow and more background.
For my first time, I decided to recreate that garden in my backyard. I started off with organic seeds and raised the seeds in flats during the early spring, and then later I built a raised bed outside so that the plants could grow better because my garden soil is kind of like clay. This garden represents the appreciation for nature I've had my whole life. I was never the kid who wanted to go inside and play with dolls. That was my worst nightmare. I always begged my friends to go play outside even if it was raining or really nasty because I can't stand being inside. I find myself working on a farm or garden. It's really relaxing. It's a great stress reliever. Some of the pictures in here don't have quotes. I just really like the pictures.
So finally, I give you guys some glass. This isn't going to be broken. But this glass, honestly, I think I could. It's so weak and transparent, like the phonies you see in Catcher in the Rye. No, it's glass. And it reveals all, and it never leaves you guessing. So, how many of you guys knew my favorite color was orange? Or that I was born in Connecticut? Well, some of you may have known little tidbits about my life, but you still don't know all of my story. And what I'm sharing with you now isn't all of my story. It is the view from above. So basically, what the concept is changes in perspective and perception. So I divided this into first I'm about how this
was I created connecting that to the creation of the building.
Alright, my project is called Background Music. From benefit concerts to school activities to church performances, to playing at home to pass time, music has always been the background of my life. I'm sure you guys can relate, having to write your journal topics while listening to music every morning. I believe people look past the power and importance of music and ignore the background noises of their life. So I'm going to show you how music played an important role in the literature.
Project is called Lessons Learned in Time, a Traveler's Journal, and basically it's just a compilation of all of the experiences I've witnessed over trips I've taken, and I'm going to specifically be focusing on 3 trips, and I will be connecting the 3 trips to 2 books. I will compare the lessons I learned to a book, and I will contrast it with the book. And then I also included my writing workshop with this, so the pieces will be in here as well. So, oh my god. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a quote. We live in a wonderful world that is full of beauty, charm, and adventure. There is no end to the adventures we can have if only we seek them with our eyes open. So I wanted to start the book, it's a scrapbook. So scrapbook with this quote because going through this process was really like an exercise for me because I never really organized all of the lessons I had learned and all of the really amazing things that had happened to me because, you know, when you take a trip, you're there for like maximum maybe 2 weeks and it all just goes by in such a rush and you don't really know what's happened. And I've never really had time to reflect on everything, so that's what that is. Okay, the first trip I'm going to focus on is my trip to Italy. I took my trip to Italy when the fall of 7th grade. And so the theme of this section is called Details, 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 question mark. So basically these are all photographs I've taken on my trips. I love photography. I feel like it's a great way to capture the moment and, you know, you can be really creative. So this is just my family, and I'm not going to explain every picture because it'll get boring. But, so the first book I connected this to is Asher Lev. And that's because obviously he's an artist, and he sees the details in everyday life, and that's what allows him to create masterpieces. And many people didn't understand that in his life. Such as his parents who believed that he should follow his religion. But an example of this is when he paints the crucifixion of his mother, and he sees her suffering, and this is a detail that either she refuses to accept or that many people don't see. This is an example of the detail in the book. And then moving over to Death of a Salesman, Willie Loman refuses to see reality, so that's why there's a question mark, because he really refuses to look at what his life has become, which is kind of not a failure, but you know, he's lost a lot of money and his family is falling apart, and so these are also quotes that I put with the books, and so these are the ones that I'm going to read. I'm not going to read all of them because that would take too much time. But for example, this one, Biff is saying, "Will you let me go for Christ's sake? Will you take that phony dream and burn it before something happens?" So this exemplifies how Willie refuses to see that his life was not how it was when he was younger, in his glory days, I guess, when he was a traveling salesman and made a lot of money.
In no way could I give my whole life to you guys. And I am not even halfway through my life. So that's why I feel like the capstone is a pit stop for me. And it's really something that helps me reflect on my life now and reflect on the future. but it's not a guarantee. Nothing's a guarantee, but the fact that you still have your desire and you still have your values is a guarantee. So these layers are so much stronger than this piece of glass could ever be. So if one thing that you can take away from this capstone, or rather not a capstone, is that onions taste really bad when mixed with cake. And I mean, you can, and that being a banana fish isn't really something you want to be.
It was just hard to balance everything, but it was like still like a really rewarding project that, like, even though it was a challenge, it was still like cool to watch everybody present. So.
Yeah, anyway, so I really liked it. Oh my god!
Okay, thanks. Have a nice
It was actually really awesome though, like
you guys know what it is and do everything right and you know what you're doing, then you'll finish the project in like 2 weeks and it's fine.
I think we stressed the project too much. And I would agree with that. Like,
but it was still really
good.
Huge monster of a project.
It was
that
a little
I thought
overwhelming.
was going to devour me alive. When actually, I did it in like 3 hours, and it was fine. And it was a solid project.
It was really cool. I liked it.
It's very,
I loved it too.
very analytical.
Great project. It's a lot of fun, and even though it was pretty difficult to get going, even though it was pretty difficult to get going, you know, once you got it going,
yeah, I felt
it worked out.
Felt like it was a good opportunity to reflect on not only our English class but our whole lives up until this point. It's a nice capstone.
Go.
Hi. Hola. ¿Cómo estás?
So capstones are good, but I think I said this already. Don't add extra stuff.
I don't think the portfolio should be an option, like with it, because it was too stressful at the end. Yeah.
But I liked watching everyone.
Too.
It was fun.
And I learned a lot about myself, and it was a good experience.
Yes, it's enlightening. I really enjoyed it.
Hi. So I really liked the capstone, and I really thought it was a lot of fun to watch everyone's projects and get to know people in different ways and what they like to do.
Yeah, I like that too. I liked watching them because I learned a lot about people that I didn't know. But we didn't like that you could do your portfolio with the capstones. We thought that people got like 2 extra months to do their portfolios.
Bye.
Okay, I thought this project was great project to end junior year because it really helped me go back and see what I did for all those 3 years. And it's a great project for junior year who are heading towards senior year.
Oh, okay. So just recapping what Amy said, it was just like the project was a nice summary of like putting everything together. Yeah, it was a good transition to senior year, and it was just nice overall. Yeah, to be creative and fun, just to make this project. So it was good. Bye.
Chocolate milk.
Oh God!
We love English.
It was fun.
We're done.
It was a super good time.
I had fun.
Thought it was a great project. It was a great assessment of my junior year, and I think it should be continued.
Filming our things.
What's 15?
I'd do it again if I had to. He starts going down the path of sex.